is Pilot News, covering Principia College and beyond. On campus, off campus, news that affects our Principia community.
Hello and welcome to the inaugural broadcast
quarter,
of
but
Pilot
they're
News.
Campus news, sports, people, events. We go where the news is, bringing you fair and full coverage. From the Templin TV studio, this is your Pilot News.
Hello campus and welcome back to Winter Quarter's second broadcast of PCTV's Pilot News, and we are live right now. I'm Jesse Sanders alongside David Bates, Josh Reisman has sports, and Elsa Pollack is joining us this week to host our new entertainment segment. Here are this week's top stories.
One of the first things you may have noticed this quarter was higher prices at the pub. A typical meal of a burger, fries, and shake may cost over $5, possibly making the search for a decent meal on campus more strenuous on the meal plan budget. I went to the pub and talked with dining services manager Lance Thornton to get his take on the cost of a shake. The line is especially long this Saturday night as students search for a place on campus to have some food and hang out. But hanging out at the pub this quarter has become a more costly outing than in the past. Dining Services Manager Lance Thornton says the pub has not increased its prices, with the exception of a few items, for at least half a decade.
In our case, we don't look for a profit. So all we're trying to do is establish a break-even of zero.
Thornton and a team of managers met and examined what the cost of providing each food item was. Then they multiplied that figure by 3 in order to cover labor and other expenses. Prices on shakes alone have increased as much as 50 cents, but will that keep people from coming to the pub? Student Kat Pomeroy says no.
It doesn't affect my decision to come to the pub. Like tonight I'm coming to the pub with my friends, but I'm not getting anything. And I don't know if necessarily, I guess the prices do sway me a little bit to not get something.
Student worker Jason X says people shouldn't mind paying slightly higher prices because he says you're getting good food delivered right to your table.
I think it's kind of worth it because the quality of food is a little bit better than, say, in the scramble room, even though it takes longer.
Ultimately, Thornton says he wants to provide a place that is not an economic burden on either the college or the student. And in keeping with that, he hasn't even raised the prices as much as his calculations said he should have.
We want it to be something that's very inviting to the student. We want it to be the place to go. We want it to be inviting enough so that, gee, why would I get in my car, other than just getting off campus and enjoying the ride, why would I get in my car when I could just not spend the gas and go right to the pub?
As you can see, the pub is as busy as ever on a Saturday night, despite the higher prices. I guess having a monopoly on campus as the only place to hang out and get some food has its advantages. This is David Bates reporting live from the pub for Pilot News.
Has your identity been stolen, your computer been hacked into, or has your credit card seen activity without your authorization? These are the types of questions you'll hear at this year's Public Affairs Conference. Elsa Pollack has the story on the Spring Quarter Conference about cyber terrorism.
Does cyber terrorism sound like something only computer geeks would talk about? Well, it's not, and there is going to be a whole lot more talk of cyber terrorism as it is the topic of this year's Public Affairs Conference. Sarah Andrews, the co-director of the student-run conference, informed us a little bit about what cyber terrorism really is.
Cyber terrorism is basically the use of technology to commit acts of terrorism. It could be against infrastructure, like communications, transportation is all run through computer and through technology. So if those things aren't secure, they could easily be attacked by terrorists.
3 prominent speakers will speak to the entire campus for the Public Affairs Conference. They include Roger Cressy, the former Chief of Staff to the President's Critical Infrastructure Protection Board, Valerie McNevin, an international consultant in information security and electronic commerce, and Kevin Mitnick, who has been arrested many times for computer hacking charges, as well as appearing on America's Most Wanted list of criminals. Rebecca Pinter, the co-director of the conference, talked about the importance of this year's topic.
Students should expect for this particular conference is a really hard-hitting information, a lot of in-depth analysis of what's going on in the world. What are the steps that are being taken to protect people? What are the issues, so that people become really aware of what's going on.
This year's conference aims to give students a better understanding of what cyber terrorism is and how in the growing age of technology, it directly or indirectly affects all of our lives. The Public Affairs Conference will be the first week of spring quarter, and you can register for it now during 6th week until the end of 9th week. I'm Elsa Pollack from Pilot News, covering the Public Affairs Conference.
A revived Amnesty International is heating up the social calendar this quarter. Amnesty International is a club on campus that may have been overlooked in previous years, but is now getting back on track with their new focus this quarter, the arms trade. Every minute, someone is killed by armed violence. In response to this, Amnesty International showed a film called Lord of War starring Nicolas Cage last weekend in Wanamaker Hall. This depicted the life of an arms dealer and spread awareness of the importance of the issue. After the movie, Amnesty International collected signatures for petitions, one of which is an online million-face petition to demonstrate to governments that we need effective and urgent action to control the arms trade crisis. In order to get the issue across to the students on campus, the Amnesty group, led by co-presidents Zach Riley and Akwomo Anakor, posted 800 flags outside between the Science Center and the School of Government to symbolize the 800 deaths a day that are a result of the small arms trade. Amnesty International continues to get signatures for its petitions, as well as sell buttons to raise money for the club. Amnesty is also planning other events, such as a poetry reading and concert, to further discuss the issue.
Usually when you turn your radio dial to 105.3 FM, you just hear static. Well, not so much this quarter. The students in the radio workshop class have been working hard to get more programming on the school's radio waves. Basically, the main homework for the class is to prepare for 2 radio shows, the noon talk show and the nightly music shows. The 11 students in the class take on different roles such as producer, engineer, and host of the various programs. The noon talk show features a special guest like a captain of the sports team. The nightly time slots include a daily rotation of music format, anything from classic rock on Sundays, movie soundtracks on Mondays, to underground and indie rock on Tuesdays. The week continues with country on Wednesdays and today's hits on Thursdays. Besides the work on the shows, students also produce promos and record public service announcements. You can tune into the nightly broadcast starting at 6 and going till midnight. Joining us again this week is our new entertainment anchor to give you the latest in arts and entertainment news on campus. This week, Elsa Pollack will tell us about the upcoming winter dance production and a recap of last weekend's Lazy Zipper performance.
Thanks, Jesse. Dance production is in full swing, preparing for their big performance 8th weekend. This year's dance numbers are choreographed by a number of student dancers, as well as Principia's leading dance instructor, Hillary Harper Wilcoxon, and visiting instructor Mimi McDonald. Jesse sat down with 3 of the student choreographers to get some insight and help the campus better understand the planning and hard work that goes into this highly anticipated event.
It's Saturday morning, and while much of the Principia campus is enjoying their one day to take advantage of sleep, the dancers in this year's winter dance production are hard at work. This day is used for the large group to get together as a whole to go through the entire show. But not just a rehearsal, the dancers also set aside time to share their own metaphysical thoughts with each other. Senior Kelly O'Connor has an extensive dance background in a variety of genres. She has danced with many different groups outside of Principia, but she notices a significant difference in her dance experiences here at Prin.
When you come here, you're not worried about if the girl next to you is going to get a better part in a piece, or if you're not going to get cast in a dance because you're not good enough, or, you're not worried about any of those things because that's not what it's about.
Dancing together in both of their own choreographed pieces, Kelly and senior Kirsta Paul say that their dances are about one's initial struggle, and through the dance, the audience will see how they overcome this struggle and break free.
It can speak to everyone and anyone. Just an individual who is struggling in life, kind of what Kelly was talking about, that emotional turmoil, just going through challenges of feeling like you're trying very hard and you just aren't succeeding, or like holding on to something and not able to let it go.
Both Kirsta and Kelly say that a common thing among dancing is that feeling of struggle and then triumph in the end. Yet this is not the way senior Allie Shifley likes to dance, and it's definitely not seen in her fun, upbeat dance involving Tarzans.
Dance has always just been just about fun for me. It's a great expression, but I've never really used it to express the more deeper emotions or anything. I have so much fun dancing that I want to show that fun and that excitement that I always have when I dance in my dances.
Aside from their different dancing styles and cherished experiences at Principia, these women are excited to end their Prin dance careers with a bang. They feel like this year's production is going to bring unique talents and an overall love for dance to the community. Make sure to check out all of the action during 8th weekend. For Pilot News, this has been Jessie Sanders.
College weekend visitors, along with Principia students, laughed for an hour during a Lazy Zipper performance at the pub. The 9 cast members left the campus on the edge of their seats with anticipation of what to expect at their big performance in a couple of weeks. Our Myrna Peters attended the event to get the inside scoop.
Making an appearance at the pub were the 9 comical cast members of the soon-to-come Lazy Zipper improv show. The cast of the student-run, written, and directed show featured comedy sketches, improvisations, and performances. Now director Ryan Rainey, who was responsible for creating the structure of rehearsal and the sketches themselves, tells us what was in store for us.
Show tonight, you're going to be seeing some funny stuff that is completely unscripted, on the spot. A lot of talented people up there on stage, giving it their all to be funny and also to create good scene work. And it should be a lot of fun with audience interaction as well.
Before the show, Bethany Davenport tells us why she decided to come.
I just came to laugh a lot. I'm hoping to see some audience participation and some really funny jokes.
Sharing with us a little insider secret, Ryan tells us that the actual show will include skits, satiring Principia's social structure, Facebook, couples, and even hillbillies hunting in the wilderness. Caught after the show, Leslie Ingalls describes the commotion at the pub.
It was so packed. People were everywhere. They were sitting on top of like ceiling-looking thing. I don't know. It was so fun. People are standing up on chairs. People wanted to come in.
Tickets will be sold at the door in box office 7th week of this quarter, $3 for students and $5 for faculty and non-students. For PCTV, this is Myrna Peters.
Up next, Josh Reisman is here with the sports report. He's going to tell us about men's basketball, the latest news on Principia's swim team, and give us a recap of the exciting Super Bowl game from over the weekend. Pilot News will continue after this commercial break.
Atmosphere on campus getting you down. Need to get away? Need someplace close? You need to get beyond the bubble. Beyond the Bubble is a quick 5-minute drive from Prin. With small pastries, caffeinated and decaffeinated drinks, bubble tea, and a quiet area to study, Beyond the Bubble is a safe haven for a quick escape from the madness.
The Panthers swimmers and divers are gearing up for the biggest meet of the year. With a liberal arts invitational just around the corner, the team is coming together and records are close to being broken. Stephanie Morgan is 1 second away from breaking the 100-meter breaststroke school record. Captains Joy Deal and Ryan Lochner feel this season's team has had a stronger sense of family than ever before. The team is always pulling for each other, and the roles of leadership have grown tremendously throughout the season. The team is collectively progressing right where they need to be for their final meet. Look out for some bald men around campus this coming weekend because the men's swimmers plan to change their look very soon. In men's basketball, Graham Neal got a haircut. That's a good thing. After the team failed to win a game before New Year's, Neal vowed not to cut his hair until the Panthers posted a victory. Although Neal's locks got a bit unruly before the Panthers finally notched a win, they did so last week when they pilloried St. Louis College of Pharmacy 72-67. With a second victory this week over Lincoln Christian, seen here, the Panthers have won 2 of their last 4 games. A bright spot for the Panthers is the play of sophomore Chris Watts. At one point during the season, the 6'3" native of Redmond, Washington, led the conference in scoring. Mark your calendars for senior night, Tuesday, February 21st against Maryville. That will also be the last performance of the year for the Principia dance team. There was nothing that needed praying about, but Principia succumbed to the Super Bowl fever on Sunday night. There were parties at Lowry, and this one here at Ferd, as well elsewhere on campus with students from all over the country. There was no clear favorite among the combatants, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Seattle Seahawks, but that didn't keep people from having a good time. And if it wasn't the game that was necessarily a classic, the food and the commercials were good anyway. And then there were the Rolling Stones. No comment.
Thanks, Josh. Maury Fieldhouse was rocking last Saturday night during the Winter Carnival. A variety of moonwalks were brought in for free entertainment, while individual houses set up booths to raise some extra cash. Ferguson had a car-smashing booth, while Anderson had a picture-taking booth. There were activities from throwing balls to break plates to getting henna tattoos. If one became too tired, then Howard had the perfect booth for you, a massage booth. The hit of the carnival had to be Lowry's ball-throwing game. One group spent $25 to throw 75 balls at Lowry men. This was claimed to be the best winter carnival yet. The carnival was a great activity to bring people from all around campus together. Make sure not to miss the Winter Carnival of 2007 because it is sure to be another hit.
Looks like I missed another fun event, guys.
Yeah, it was actually kind of exciting.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I did. I didn't do any of the sports, but the bungee cord thing looked fun.
And you have to be careful on that. The rubber really gives you a burn bad if you fall the wrong way.
Yeah, I bet.
Thanks for joining us today. That's all we have. We hope you've enjoyed this week's edition of PC News. For David Bates, Josh Reisman, Elsa Pollack, and the rest of the PCTV News team, this is Jessie Sanders inviting you to join us next week as we wrap up the quarter with our final edition of Pilot News. Good day, everyone.